Five Out Basketball, five segments, five takes. This is the podcast for NBA conversations. This is Five Out Basketball, and it starts in 3, 2, 1.
And for our final segment, me and Everton, we're big draft fans. The Thunder used to suck, so we used to look forward to this. Meanwhile, I'm always here as a Bulls fan. But the NBA draft, we're always locked in for it. And so we're going to have a little fun with it, including this season. We're going to go back in time, and for each draft, we're going to say a player that overachieved our expectations and a player that underachieved our expectations. Everton, before we get in, do you want to start from 1920 or do you want to start from this season?
I think we should start 1920 because I feel like as the years go down or go whatever it is, the years go down, there's going to be less to say about some of these guys because some of these dudes aren't even done with their rookie contract. So it is kind of a reach to say that they're under or over, whatever. So I feel like for 19 and 20, like there's more to say. So I'd say start with that.
All right, let's do that. So let's talk about players from drafts that we think underachieved and overachieved. I'm going to start off with my overachiever, and that's going to be Nicholas Claxton of the Brooklyn Nets. That Georgia team was not good. And Nick Claxton, he looked like your average center back in the day. You know, I have it next to you, like 8.6 rebounds. This didn't look like anything special, and that's why he went in the second round. But this guy evolved as a scorer, became a much better defender, and still pulls down those rebounds. And he's been a fantastic player for the Nets. The Nets aren't good, so no one really talks about it. But Nicholas Claxton is a player that's going to be in the league for a long time, and I had zero expectations for him, and that guy delivered.
So he was. So I'll say this now. Like for some of these, I put multiple names because I wasn't sure.
Okay.
But he was one of the names I put because, you know, for a guy who was a second rounder to be where he's at right now, like you said, good defensively, good rebounder, and he's not even like the biggest dude. Like when you look
he's
at him, he doesn't look like
6'11".
exactly, and he's not like a huge dude.
He's so
and
small. He's 6'11". I'm literally 5'9".
But like he's a great center on a mid team, so nobody's gonna talk about it. But you know, like a guy who's gonna block some shots, grab some rebounds, catch some lobs. He's really athletic.
Yes, he is.
And he put LeBron in the basket, I think 2 years ago. I remember I think was it Christmas? I don't remember what year it was, but
Okay.
lob dunk on LeBron. But my pick for over was actually Jordan Poole.
It's a good It's a good shout. People don't want to have that conversation.
They don't, but I know he's a meme now, but talking about a dude who's a 28th pick. Plus, I remember this clip. When he got picked, somebody was like, the Warriors reached for this guy. He might be one of the worst players in the draft.
Reach at 28 is crazy.
Exactly. Like 28, you reached, bro. Seriously. So for Jordan Poole to have his rookie year was terrible. He was one of the worst players in the league as a rookie. So, you know, people were like, oh, yeah, nah. But for him to have worked so hard and end up becoming a guy who was a pivotal part of a championship team, got a big payday. The talent is still there for Jordan Poole. He just has to lock in, but the talent is there, and the skills are there. But it's just like he needs to really get here. But I think overachiever Jordan Poole. That's how I roll with.
And not to defend Jordan Poole for not locking in right now. But if I was on Washington, I would also not give a fuck at all. I'd just be going for clips, and that's clearly what he does. Like some of these videos are so funny. Like he'll go like between the legs, spin around, then right after the spin, go for a three, and then get like blocked. And like it's so funny. But like he's trying to go famous, and like I respect that. I mean, if I'm in Washington, that's all. You're not winning games. Just go out there and have fun.
Yeah, they are one of the most unserious teams right now. So I get it. You get unserious Jordan Poole. Simple as that. So exactly. I'm not mad at it. It is funny, but I wish he would lock in. But I guess when there's nothing to lock in for, why even do it?
Exactly. And for our underachiever, I think there's only one option, but I'm gonna let you go for it, Everton. If we have different players, I will be shocked. But
so I put two names.
Okay.
But I think there's only one clear dude, and it's Jarrett Culver, bro.
Yeah.
Like I vividly remember him on that Texas Tech team. I was like, oh, he is a dog. Like
he was so good in March, man. He was so good.
So like I was like, yeah, he's a dog. I know they lost, but he's a dog. Minnesota picking him at 6. I was like, oh yeah. And you know what's crazy? I think the Suns actually had that pick, but traded down to get Cam Johnson. And people are like, Yeah, that was stupid. Suns are stupid. Should have kept Jarrett Culver.
They knew.
Yeah.
What do I remember from that draft though? I think it was Cam Johnson. But I remember Kobe White when they broke the news to him. He, like most smart ass answer I've ever heard in my
Yeah,
life.
it was Cam Johnson.
Wow.
Yeah.
What? Wow. He
It
did
was
not think
Cam
Cam Johnson
Johnson.
was going that high either.
I didn't either. I didn't think he was gonna go to, I think, 11 or
Because
10.
wasn't he like an older rookie? I don't
Yeah,
remember
he's
what
like
his age was.
22 or
Yeah.
23. Yeah.
Yeah, for that to go that age, but Cam Johnson hooped. So
Yeah.
the Suns knew what they were doing.
They knew what they were doing. And Jarrett Culver, I was really big on Jarrett Culver,
I
but
loved him. No,
my goodness, did he
yeah, he's in the G
flop in the
League,
league.
bro. He's in the G League.
Exactly. Like he got out of the league within like 2 or 3 years. He was out of the league.
And dude, like as you said, he looked special on like he was like a 3-and-D player. He could
Yeah.
score from three, score in the mid range, get to the basket. Great defender, always got steals, and that March Madness was special.
It was.
A couple of these players kind of faked me out on March Madness, and that's why I think they're underachievers now. But or the expectation was set too high. But yeah, Jarrett Culver was 100% the option.
He was my top guy.
Yeah, then don't dive into this one too much. But who was the second guy?
Cam Reddish.
Yeah, that's a good.
So I won't say too much, but for people who know, Cam Reddish was my favorite player in that draft. And I've been watching bro since high school, and Cam Reddish in high school was different. I don't know if you've seen that Anthony Edwards clip.
Which one?
So there was this video where it's like they were asking top players in the country, like, who's the toughest player you had to guard? And the thing is, like, 2 or 3 of them, I think Tyrese Maxey was there too. 2 or 3 of them was like, oh yeah, Cam Reddish. And then Anthony Edwards showed up, and bro was like, the other guy was like, I think it was Trendon Watford, was like, yeah, he gave us 40, man. And Ant was like, 40? Like, which means like that means Cam went for like 50 or 60 on them. Like,
yeah,
that's insane. But I was really huge on, because Cam reminded me of like Paul George, like silky smooth game. Looked like he was gonna be a 3-and-D guy. On top of that, like I was so high on Cam Reddish, and he already was kind of struggling at Duke, but I thought that was just like lack of a role. Like you have Zion
and RJ.
It's art exactly, you know. So I was like, you know what? It's a bit of a smaller role. Maybe that's why. But yeah, Cam Reddish in the league he's a good defender, but he's honestly like you can't play him on offense. Like on offense, nah, bro.
So we're gonna transition into the next year, and this is gonna probably be my most controversial take I have here because like he's still a good player, but I set the expectations too high. So this is my underperformer. I loved Obi Toppin in college. He was like Zion before Zion. Like he was dunking everything, getting rebounds, a solid defender. Dayton Flyers weren't normally like that, but when he was there, that team was sensational. And Obi Toppin, his college, it's one of my favorite highlight reels to watch. It's so crazy to say out loud now. But again, he's still a solid player. Like, he's still getting like 10 points, but like I seriously thought Obi Toppin was gonna be like a star. And so the fact that he's never gonna be there, because like he might be third in the Pacers power forward rotation now, like since Jarris Walker's getting minutes and Siakam's there, which that's so sad because like Obi Toppin left to finally get like a more serious role, and he's just lost it already. But was so fun to watch play basketball, and like again, I said I thought he was gonna be like a Zion type. He was before Zion, but I thought he was gonna be like that.
No, he was after Zion.
He was. Oh, I'm a liar. I thought he was gonna be Zion. Oh yeah, because Zion was the Reddish draft. I'm tweaking.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought he was literally Zion, but that didn't deliver.
So he wasn't who I picked. He's been pretty good this year, obviously, like for a smaller role, and I get why you feel that way. My only thing with Obi was I saw the athleticism, but when he got drafted to the Knicks specifically, I knew it wasn't going to work because they had Julius Randle. And granted, that was before Randle became an all-star, but I figured they would still favor Randle over him because they didn't trade Randle. Because I was like, all right, you drafted Obi, maybe they'll trade Randle now because they have this new guy. They kept Randle, became an all-star. Obi's role never really got defined. He got to the Pacers now, playing with one of the best like floor raisers, and Tyrese Halliburton. He was having a really good year. Like, just simply put, like compared to his other seasons in New York, like he's shooting the 3-ball well. He's like really efficient in the paint. Like I think he has the highest 2-point percentage something like that. I don't know too much about his defense, so I couldn't tell you if it's been like crazy or not. But the team's a bad defensive team, so yeah. But Obi, I get why, because you probably like me an all-star, but
I did.
So who I went for, I have three names actually, because these three dudes, but I'll say the one who I think it is, and that's James Wiseman.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
Like we're talking about a dude who coming out of high school was the number one guy out of high school. Like a bunch of people wanted him to go to whatever school. He went to Memphis. Whatever happened, happened. He looked really cool, like really like good in his Memphis, like few Memphis games he played.
Mm-hmm.
He was dominant. Granted, I don't think they played anybody special, but
mm-hmm.
he looked he looked huge because he was like 7'1", like 240. Like he looked like a man among boys out there.
Yeah.
And the Warriors picked him. Everybody was like, they filled their position. Because, you know, for a while, it was like the center position was kind of a shaky one for the Warriors. Yeah. And oh wow, they just got the best center in the draft. He's gonna be an all-star in a few years. Perfect. And looking at it now, the number 2 pick in the draft, James Wiseman, he is garbage.
Yeah,
that boy is not good. You said what?
Can't even play for the Pistons. You know how bad you have to be where like you're
exactly
on the Pistons.
You can't even play for the Pistons. Like when you look at what he does, what does he do good in the league outside of be tall and athletic? Like,
dude, do you not see him stand up on the bench to celebrate when someone gets a highlight, bro? He's a great clapper on the bench. So like, yeah, you know, nice firm, makes a nice sound, a nice crisp clap. Yeah, that's James.
Maybe
Wiseman.
that's his career because bro, like his knowledge of the game isn't that great. His footwork's not great. His defense isn't that good. Like so many negatives, bro. Like, yeah, I went for Wiseman because you was a top 2 pick and ended up being, you know, not that good. The only other guys I had, now one of them, Patrick Williams. I mean, for being the 4th pick, you know, not the greatest.
Can I comment on this?
Go ahead.
So I'm a Bulls fan, so like I have to speak about Patrick Williams. I had no expectations at all. I was pissed when the pick happened because like
that's what I was gonna say.
He couldn't even start in college. Like, I'm sorry, like that's not serious to take a bench player at the 4th pick. Like that's enough alone. And like there's like, oh, he's gonna be the next Kawhi. He never had the scoring like that. And against the Suns, like I granted it's Kevin Durant, but when you're 3-D, you're supposed to get some stops. KD had him in literal hell. He made him look like a clown. Like that performance was embarrassing. And though he got him benched on the spot, like now Caruso was guarding him, who's a little smaller. But, like Patrick Williams is just, I think he's the most average player in the league. Like if we were to ever do like an average draft, Patrick Williams would be my first pick because he's just
average.
He's a shoulder shrug at everything.
Nah,
he wants 200 million, dog.
Tripping. I don't know what he was talking about when he said that, but so. Here's the thing. I didn't pick Patrick Williams because he was already a reach at 4. Like a lot of people already said, like the Bulls picking him at 4 was a major reach, to be honest. So I'm not gonna, you know, put him down for that. And like you said, the Kawhi comparisons were crazy. Even though like some of the moves you see him do, you're like, wait, but he doesn't do it often enough to where you're like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the last thing, like you said, defensively. I went to that first game of the season when they played OKC. Now, I was hyped, obviously. But I watched this man guard Shea. Bro, Shea had Patrick Williams in hell, bro. Like you said with KD. And the thing is, right, it's different with KD because KD kind of just shoots over everybody.
Yeah.
Patrick is bigger than Shea and more athletic than Shea. So he honestly has no excuse. But boy, Shea was cooking that, man. My goodness. And the last guy, I'm not going to say too much. You just have to hear his name. Killian Hayes at 7. That's all I have to say.
I've done enough shit on Killian Hayes. I'm not gonna dive into it.
Like I said, just had to say the name. That's all you need to hear.
So then our overperformers, I think it's just an obvious 2 choices. So I think one is more obvious, so I'm just gonna say the other one. Tyrese Maxey was picked so late in the draft, and like he played at Kentucky, so you're always gonna have high caliber when you go to Kentucky. But like he was okay, like he still had solid numbers, but that boy could not shoot from 3. He shot like 28%, had no 3-point shot. Suddenly he's wet from there. And Tyrese Maxey, he's improved. Like he only had like 2-3 assists in college. Now he's getting like 6 to 7. And he helped. It's so sad because like I want to say they had the chance to plus, but now with Embiid being out, Tyrese Maxey, you can make an argument. I'm not name wise because like I know Jimmy Butler was there, but if we're going just off talent, Tyrese Maxey was the best teammate that Joel Embiid has had while being on the Sixers. Tyrese Maxey's been incredible this season. And so to help give Embiid that chance to prove he wasn't a playoff choker, I just think that's enough to prove it alone. And like he was picked 26. I know he's in the 20s, 21st. I knew it was in the 20s. And he's been incredible. So that's why I give him the overachiever, because there's one other player that's picked a little earlier that I was more tempted to pick. But with just Tyrese Maxey being a little bit later, I didn't have much expectations because like he was kind of not like a short, but like 6'3" isn't the biggest guard in the world, doesn't have a 3-point shot, not a defender, okay scorer. I didn't have any expectations, and he blew me out of the water.
Honestly, I thought he could become a good 6-man. I didn't think he'd become claps to him an all-star. But I thought he'd be a good 6-man because I watched him since high school and he was always mad quick. Like bro was really fast. And he had a good like inside, like kind of his floater. And that floater is still really good. But he was really good as a high schooler. And then at Kentucky, I was like, okay, like, like he's cool. And to see where he's at now, he was one of the guys I put down. My second guy is actually later than him. You want me to go, or who's your other guy actually?
Tyrese Halliburton.
So, okay, I saw his name and I was like, I remember that draft. Him falling to 12 was a surprise. Like a lot of people had him going way higher than 12.
That's fair.
So people are like, oh, him falling to 12 is already a steal. So I didn't pick him for that reason.
Okay.
But I will say his passing was not something I knew was that good.
Yeah,
nobody. I did not know that.
Uh-huh.
But the person I went for was Desmond Bane at 30.
That's actually a great shout. I can't believe I didn't give him consideration.
Yeah, like I know the Grizzlies have been kind of, but like Desmond Bane has gotten better every year, and he's added something new to his game. Like he's better as like an on-ball scorer. Like obviously when you play with Ja, you're more off-ball, but he's become like a legitimate like second option. So I'll give him flowers for that, for being the 30th pick in the draft and having T-Rex arms. So I think that's something to clap at.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a fantastic player, and like you're gonna improve as an on-ball scorer when the Grizzlies don't have one at the moment. But yeah, no, he's great. He's a very good defender, and the 3-point shot's great. He just does a little bit of everything. It's just the fact that like your wingspan's probably shorter than your height is weird, but like, hey, he made it work.
He made it work, bro.
That's all that
made
matters.
It work.
So now let's go on to 21-22. And I forgot this happened originally. My player for overachieving, this was the Thunder's pick before they traded it to the Rockets. Yeah. Sengun. Dude, could you imagine Sengun and Chet Holmgren on the same team?
So I remember that draft too, and I didn't think of much of it then. But when I looked through to who I was going to pick, and he was the guy I picked, I was like, damn, we really could have had Sengun. Imagine us with Sengun right now.
Sengun and Chet Holmgren is one of those few like times where you could play two centers, but it would actually work. Like they could like not conflict each other. That team would have been special. Not important. But anyways, Sengun, I'm going to be honest. My next 3 overachievers, I feel like this is kind of bogus because I knew nothing about them. So I didn't have any expectations for them.
Okay.
But Sengun, I didn't see any of his Turkey highlight reel. I had no idea what was going on. So I was like, he could do something. I mean, he's almost a lottery pick. He can be solid.
So
he should be an all-star.
Yeah, he should probably. But Sengun was one of my guys. He actually kind of fell to me because I remember that draft. He was supposed to go a little bit higher than 16, but he's went on to become a borderline all-star player, which is, hey man, I didn't see too much of his highlights outside of him like praying to the ball before he shoots free throws or whatever.
Yeah.
But the other guy I picked was Franz Wagner.
That's a good choice.
Who like while he was the 8th pick, people did not have expectations for him to become like those dudes like borderline all-star level player too. Like I know a lot of the Magic hype goes to Paulo and stuff, but Franz is like right there with him, you know? So Franz becoming this player is definitely kind of overachieved for me.
Yeah. Franz is a great player. It's just I just don't think they had much expectations just because he's not the most flashy or exciting player in the world, just his play style. So that's why I think people didn't give him much respect. But that guy's a hooper, and like if the Magic didn't have a slip off and they were still as high as they were, he would have been. I would say he would have became an all-star, but he would have been a much more serious consideration, 100%.
Yeah, he definitely would have been much more consideration.
And so my underachiever is going to be one of my biggest heartbreaks because I loved him so much at Baylor, and that's going to be Davion Mitchell. Clamp, God, oh my God, he could defend whoever you wanted. I thought he was going to be the best point guard defender we had in the league. He doesn't play. He does not play. And he's not even like he's still a good defender, but he's not the caliber we thought he was going to be. So it's like What do you do? Like,
So remember his nickname, like Off Night?
yeah.
So he was the guy. He was one of the guys I picked too under. I
Mm.
remember this dude at Baylor. Well, he was a bucket at Baylor too. Like he
Yeah.
was a bucket,
He
and
didn't
he's
like have
shooting the
high
three ball
scoring,
well.
but like he could score when he was given the opportunity.
Yeah, and did he shoot well from three? I think he shot like
He did.
40% from three. So when the Kings drafted him, I was confused because they had Tyrese and De'Aaron at the time,
Uh-huh.
but obviously Tyrese is gone now. And with Davion, I was like, yo, this dude could become like a shorter Marcus Smart or like a shorter Drew Holiday type of thing.
Mm.
And this dude, his offensive game has been so bad. That's why he doesn't play.
Yeah.
Because he's like a negative on offense.
Absolutely.
And as a guard, you can't be a negative on offense.
Mm.
And then his defense, while it's still been like he's not a liability, it hasn't become like, yo, you're one of the 5 best defensive guards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think for that reason, he's definitely probably the biggest. Who did you put anybody else for your underachiever or
No,
no?
I just did one for each.
So the other guy I put in consideration was Zaire Williams.
Dude, I hated him from day one. I had no expectations for him.
Really?
Yeah, so the fact that happened, I'm not shocked in the slightest. So
Oh
I'm not
wow.
like I originally did have him, but I erased it for Davion Mitchell. It's like I had no expectations for him. Don't lie to yourself, Joey. He wasn't good like that good at Stanford. That was just
So
terrible.
I remember him on that Sierra Canyon team, and he was like the highest ranked or second highest ranked player on that team,
Hmm.
behind like Brandon Boston, I think.
Yeah.
But I didn't have high expectations for him either because his 1 year at Stanford, which I was confused when he went there too, to be honest. But
Yeah.
his 1 year at Stanford was like mid. So I was like, okay. When they picked him at 10, I was kind of like, you might have reached, but I get it because he's a top high school prospect. Got some 3-and-D potential, maybe like a Brandon Ingram type of player.
Mm.
But Zaire Williams, man, like,
Dude,
nah, like
I
he's
remember
just
I watched a podcast at the start of the season. They're doing like some team previews, and that was for the Grizzlies. Like, yeah, with Ja being out, like if the Grizzlies want to become serious, Zaire Williams has to prove why he was a lottery pick. So I have high expectations for him. You were disappointed, brother.
brother. That man is not good.
Yeah, there's a
Oh,
reason when that fan won his autograph, like as a giveaway, he didn't even smile. He was pissed.
yeah.
He was so mad. I've
He
never
said
seen
of all
someone
the
so mad at a
players,
gift.
bro. Of all the players, bro. Oh my god, that's
Yeah,
hilarious.
I'd be pissed as well. But you want to know what else makes me mad?
What
This is
else?
probably my most disappointing underachiever because
Of the whole list, or like
the
in?
whole list, not
Oh
because he's
wow.
like the worst, but this is the guy
Hmm.
the highest expectations for. Because at Kansas, when they won that national championship, he was so good, and that's gonna be Ochai Abaji. That
Oh
guy,
man,
he was
yeah,
a freak athlete. He was throwing down the most insane alley-oops. He could shoot from
yeah.
three. He was a great defender. He could do it all, and I was so moved. I thought he was gonna be fantastic, and now he's just gets like 20 minutes a night, puts up like 6 points, and that breaks my heart because he had all the tools to be him.
You know what's great? Wasn't he one of the older guys too?
Mm,
So when you draft an older guy, like they're at least supposed to be like good at the gate.
yeah,
But I don't know what happened with Ochai Abaji, but
yeah.
I considered him. Mine was Mr. Johnny Davis.
Dude, as Illinois State alums, or not alums, we still go there. You don't need to get us on these Davis brothers, bro.
I'm not going to, but that was the guy I picked. I'm not gonna go too much into detail, but for you to be the 10th pick in the draft and already kind of play yourself like out of the rotation is kind of
On the
insane, to be honest.
Wizards.
On the
On the
wit,
Wizards.
like, come on, buddy. But I love you, ISU Redbirds. Go Redbirds.
Yeah, go Redbirds. No bias. Jordan Davis is awesome.
He he is.
Yeah.
He is indeed.
He's a player.
Who's
For
your
sure.
overachiever?
So this is like I'm gonna feel stupid just because
Mhm.
for saying this, but like I had like so it's also gonna lead to my overachiever for the next one, but I knew nothing about Santa Clara and what the program was like. So no expectations for Jalen Williams. But that boy can hoop. He is going to be an all-star one day. That guy is fantastic. And I know I should be talking about his like skills of play, and that's why I should be hyping him up. But the TikTok he made with the other Jalen Williams, this is like all I needed to move the needle.
Where have you been?
Twin.
Nah,
Like,
facts. That's why I picked two. J-Dub. I don't want to. I was like afraid of. Am I being Thunder biased right now? But
no.
it got to be J-Dub, bro. Like I didn't know much about him either coming out of Santa Clara. Like I just knew he was a bigger, kind of wing.
Mhm.
But for this guy in year
Yeah, he should not be this good already.
year two, already looking like an all-star, it had to be J-Dub.
Yeah.
And TikToks are hilarious. We have an AAU team,
I
bro.
was
I
just
don't get
literally gonna say that comment word for word. You guys have an AAU team, yet
like
you're like almost the number 1 seed in the West. I forgot this year with the
exact
Timberwolves.
Rockets. That's how you make an AAU team actually win games.
Yeah, because okay, while we're on it, like I was really tempted to pick Jalen Green to be an underachiever, but
Me
it's just like
too.
it's 18 points. Like I can't be that bogus. Like did I
He's
have
been
high?
better as of late too. Like his numbers over the past few games have been really good. So I was like, you know what? I'll let him slide.
Yeah, but dude, man, I was very tempted. I was like, I
Me
can't hate
too.
that much. That's doing too much.
Me too. Me too, bro.
But you wonder who I can't hate on?
Who can you not hate on?
No, who I can. I can
Oh,
definitely hate
can.
on. Yeah,
Who can you hate on?
Grady Dick. Grady
Man,
Dick is
see, that's
so
why I wrote
dick.
multiple names because I'm like, I know we're gonna pick the same people, bro. That's why I wrote multiple names, bro.
But yeah, no, dude, Grady Dick was a fantastic 3-point shooter in college, and like with the Raptors having no shooters, it's like, oh, this is the answer. Grady Dick's gonna do so much for us. He's shooting 29% from three. Like I get he's a rookie, but holy shit, that is so bad. That is
Like, did
so
you see Fat Joe when they were at the draft?
yeah. Oh, dude. The aura I thought Grady Dick had when he has this like shiny red suit on
Oh
because it's like
my,
we ain't in Kansas no more.
oh my
Moved. I was so
gosh.
moved. Like I
I was
liked
like,
him.
best pick.
Yeah. This is an icy white boy if I've seen one. Like,
Wemby, nah, scoot over. Grady
yeah.
Dick. Nah, facts.
No, because dude, when the Magic, I want him to go to the Magic so bad because like when
Mm.
they took Anthony Black, it's like, oh my god, we can have Suggs Black Dick. Like, this is what the NBA needs. And like the Magic, like they still need a shooter. So like I still would understand why if they took Grady Dick. They didn't
But
though.
he
And
he is not the answer.
yeah, he's not even
Um,
be the answer in the G League. Like he can't he just
he's been
like
struggling in G League too,
you know
hasn't he?
he has. But like I know we're supposed to give rookies a chance. But if you've taken a serious regression in the one thing you were good at, I don't know how I'm supposed to take you serious.
Exactly. Like I was gonna be okay if he was bad at everything else except like shooting, but for him to be bad at everything else and shooting, damn, bro.
It's like you
Like
just getting cardio in now.
exactly.
Yeah.
Who I picked, and this is harsh. Well, I picked Grady Dick, but
Uh-huh.
this is why I have multiple names since I figured we'd probably overlap.
Yeah.
Scoot Henderson. I mean, like,
So sad to say. That's so sad.
so I still have hope for him because
Same
he's
here.
had some bright spots and you can see the potential there. And I think early on, like he was just really bad, and then he got injured, then he came back and had some pretty solid games.
Mhm.
So I don't think the verdict is out on Scoot. But man, when you average like 12 points and 4 assists with like 3 turnovers, shooting as bad as he has, like we're talking like 37, 27. Like that is horrid. Like that's bad.
Yeah.
So I still think Scoot could be a good player. So don't get me
Mhm.
wrong. Mind you, this is the 2023 draft. So these guys have played like max 40 games, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not over. It's not Scoot's done, like he's a bust. No. But if we're talking about relative to other guys, I kind of had to go Scoot.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, we saw the AI generated photos for the start of Scoot Henderson.
Oh, Toot
When they
Henderson.
called him like Poop Henderson, bro. And he was
Yeah.
literally, dude, this photo will scar me in my head because I can't believe I saw this. There's an AI generated photo of him literally sitting in shit. And I was like,
And
who did this?
yeah.
Who did this?
Yeah, I know.
And like,
People with AI.
it's a scary world, man.
Yeah.
It's a scary world. And like, I hate to say this because this technically is underachieving. I just think we set the caliber a little too high for Scoot Henderson. Like, I still think he's gonna be like a good player, but like he's not gonna be like one of the best guards in the league. But Scoot Henderson is still gonna be. I still believe he can be a borderline all star. It's just I thought he was gonna be better than a borderline all star. Not right off the bat, but like with how what he could accomplish.
I think the reason why I pick him, I remember at some point people were like, yo, Scoot's more NBA ready than Wemby.
Yeah.
And dude, that's just not true.
Nope.
That's far from the truth. So I think Scoot's probably my guy for this one. Who's your over?
So I believe there's only 2 options. Do you have 2 names written down?
I have 2 names for that too.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the one I think the opposite of what you picked. I'm gonna go Podziemski. I was talking a little bit about him for the Warriors. Again, I know nothing about Santa Clara basketball. I'm not gonna pretend I'm that educated on college basketball. I'm not. So I didn't know much about him going in the league, and now like he's so good for the Warriors. He has their best plus minus, and he's not that tall, but he still gets rebounds. He can get you a bucket when it's needed. Solid 3-point shooter, solid mid range. I don't know much about his defense, but like with the Warriors in so much of a struggle, this guy has given them hope in a bright spot. And again, no expectations at all. And for him being like a later pick in the first round, he hooped.
Yeah, he was one of the guys I put down. My pick is the guy who was picked right before him, Jaime Jaquez.
Yep, that was the other one.
I mean, like for him being third in Rookie of the Year right now says enough. Granted, he has no chance of winning it, but
yeah,
at least he's up there. I think along with like, this is why you pick older guys in the draft sometimes. Like they're more polished and their game is like, yo, I'm going to come into the league and actually be good right away. Most of the time, not all the time. But like his time at UCLA, I didn't pay attention to too much, but I play 2K. So let me get that out the way. I play 2K and I'm kind of a guy who goes on 2K and actually there's people who make college rosters. So I use the college rosters. I download all the templates, all that, right? And Jaime Jaquez was on UCLA and routinely was like the highest rated player on UCLA. So I'm like, all right, this dude got to actually be good. And I think the thing that stood out to me was like his like long hair plus headband combo was like, what is going on? But
who's this dork?
Like, who is this guy, But then I watched a little bit of UCLA. I'm like, oh, bro's actually tough,
Yeah.
And to see what he's doing for the Miami Heat right now, I was like, yeah, bro, like you're probably the overachiever because people didn't expect him to be this good right away.
No. But that's why picking these older players, like it's perfect for a team like the Miami Heat who are looking to contend right off the way. They're not trying to like develop some prospect. And Vasquez is going to get them exactly what they need. Like great hustle play, like fantastic hustle player, one of the best in the league at it. And he's still able to get buckets. Like no one thought he was going to be scoring at this NBA level, but he's proven he's fantastic at it. It's just Miami Heat need to take a bow. They nailed the draft pick here. And like I probably would pick him over Podziemski, but like again, I don't want to overlap, so I thought I'd go with the other one. But yeah, he is already the best Mexican player in NBA history. Yeah, like,
Low
it's not even funny.
Thank you so much for tuning into this segment of the 5 Out Podcast. I am Joey the Master Lee Master, and me and Everton are so thankful for your guys' support. If you want to keep supporting us, please check out the full podcast on Spotify and follow our TikTok account. Both of those will be in the bio, and make sure to leave a like and stay smooth.